predictions. I know it's 3 games have gone, so I've kind of got like a biased. You do predictions kind of like before the season starts, and I kind of know all the transfers that have happened, and I know a lot, and I agree it's a bit shrewd. However, I'm doing it anyway, so my predictions are out there just so people know. I've actually had these same predictions. I made these predictions way before. I made these predictions before the season actually started with my friends, but there's 1 or 2 things I might have changed, I think, with the relegation, but everything else is pretty similar. So, to start off, Bournemouth, where did I think Bournemouth were going to finish? I think Bournemouth will finish between 13th and 17th, to be honest. I think they'll have a good season. They've started off decent. Their showing at Anfield was a very good game. Obviously, beating Spurs on Sunday was great. But I still think losing all them players down the line, they could be there, but I think there's a couple of teams that will do well this season, maybe ahead of them. Arsenal, unfortunately, second again, ole. Unfortunately, I think this is again going to be the 4th season in a row where we finish second. I don't think any other team's better than us, besides Liverpool. To be honest, I don't know. It's early in the season, but I just still don't think we've done enough in the window. And it sounds ridiculous because we signed 8 players, and I never would have thought we signed 8 players, but I just feel as though we still needed that left winger to kind of like take us across the line. So that's tough. Villa, I think Villa will struggle this season. I think Villa will come between 8th and 12th, which is not bad. It's not bad, but I don't think they will come into these positions here. Conference League, Europa League or Champions League, definitely not. Even though they did get Javier late on deadline day, I still think they're going to struggle. Brentford, I think Brentford are going to struggle. They're going to be around 15th-ish, I think. I think they're going to be around 15-ish. Yeah, I just don't see them. I don't see them getting past that because they've lost Wissa now and Buemu, the captain, Thomas Frank. They're going to struggle. Brighton. I think Brighton will be alright. I think they didn't have a great season last season, but I think they're going to improve. I like their manager a little bit. I think he's going to do well. Burnley. This could be our first relegation team, you know. Even though I did say they had a great transfer window. I'm going to put Burnley here. Purely because I think some other teams are looking worse than them. I think Scott Park will do alright. The transfer window, like we spoke about earlier, was a good window. So Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to come in the top 4. Yeah. I think Chelsea will come in the top 4. No. I think they'll come 5th. I think Chelsea will come 5th. That was a late change. But I just think they're going to struggle with the fixtures because they didn't get used to it last year. Because I know they played Conference League, but Cole Palmer didn't get registered until January. So it's like, nah, I think they're going to... And as much as they buy so many players, I was watching them the other day against Fulham and their bench is not great. I know they got a lot of injuries, but they're 4th, 5th. They're in that position. Palace. I think they'll finish 8th or 12th. I think they'll finish between that position. They'll do alright. They won't do anything special. They're in the Conference League, so it's not too much of demand. But 2 games a week for the first time ever might have a bit of a strain, so they could drop into here. But I'm backing them. Everton. I think Everton are going to finish quite high. I think Jack Grealish, Dewsbury Hall, Tyler Diblin, it's enough. Beto's having a decent season already. I think it's enough to have a little push. I think Everton were here, not obviously not here, but they were like here-ish a couple of years ago. And then just like, I don't know, like past 4 or 5 years, they've dropped a relegation team, which is crazy. But I think they'll do alright this year. Fulham, they're in danger. They are in danger. Even though they have got Tyreek George today and a couple other players, still think they're in danger. I think, unfortunately, Leeds might be our first relegation team. I think they'll go down. I'm not too convinced with them. We obviously, Arsenal beat them 5-0. They drew. I just don't think they have enough. I think at home they'll be tough for some teams, but I think away they're just going to get battered everywhere they go. Liverpool, champions. Not much to say on them. Alexander Isak, looking like Guehi, even though there's some complications with that deal. Probably, when I post this, probably have Mark Guehi as well. Strongest team. Best summer window. Champions elect, really, to be honest. But not much I can say on that. United. I think United will finish 8th. So I'll put them at the front. I think they'll finish 8th. Yeah, I think they'll finish 8th. Because defensively not great. I know they got a new keeper today. Don't know much about him. Fullbacks ain't great. Midfield is terrible. The fact they haven't even bought a midfielder is insanity. So yeah, they're going to struggle. I know it's one game a week, but still. Manchester City. I haven't finished top 4. I haven't finished in top 4 purely because experience. I know they've lost 2 games, but I still think they're better than the rest. They'll find a way. It's Pep Guardiola, the best manager in the world. They'll find a way. Newcastle. I have Newcastle finishing here, you know. I think they'll finish. I think they'll do alright this season. Purely because of the whole Isak stuff. I think their back's against the wall now. They're going to have this, like, energy about them, I think. Yeah, I think they'll do alright. I think Newcastle will do alright. They've signed that, obviously, new striker, the German striker. Obviously, they signed Wissa today, which it's not an amazing signing, but it's decent. So I think they'll do alright, obviously, with the midfield. I've always liked the midfield. I think with Newcastle, it's their home form. That's really going to push them around the edge. Going to St. James Park is, like, probably one of the worst places to go, alongside Anfield, like we played the other day. It is probably one of the worst places to go, so I do think they'll do alright at home. Away from home, they should have won at Leeds, to be honest. It's a poor result for them. But the fact they haven't won yet, actually, to be fair, in the season is very bad. But I still back them to be alright. Forest. Oh, where's Forest going to go? Okay, for argument's sake, I'm going to have to change it. Dropping Everton down, and I'm putting Forest here. Purely because I think Forest got a better team, they're gelled. I know they've got Europa League, so they're going to have to balance two games a week. But still, I think they've got a better squad than Everton. I think they've got better players than Everton. Yeah, I just think they've got more than them. So, they'll be alright. I think they'll finish, around that position. I think they're going to struggle with the 2 games a week, but going into Forest ground is always tough. Spurs in the top 4. I don't know why, I just think Thomas Frank's going to do a good job over there. They've signed well. They got Colin Wiley today, so they've done alright with the window. I've already seen an issue Oh. Yeah, I've already seen a mistake that I've made here. So what I'm going to have to do is, that's alright. I'm going to bump up Newcastle. Yeah. I'm going to bump up United. And then I'm going to bring in Sunderland. I think Sunderland are the overachievers this season. I think they're going to do the best out of the relegated teams. I only think one of the relegated teams that come... I think only one of the promoted teams... I think only one of the promoted teams from last season are going to get relegated. Sorry, I got there at the end. Leeds, I think they're off down. I don't think Burnley will go down. I don't think Sunderland definitely won't go down. Because their squad is looking very good. I think they'll get enough points at home. Their ground is going to be a tough place to go to. And then away form, that was a big win for them on the weekend. They got Granit Xhaka there as well. He's captain now. I think they got enough over there to get through the season. Unfortunately, West Ham, I think they're going to get relegated. I just don't think they've got enough. I don't think they've got enough legs in midfield. I know they bought Matheus Fernandes the other day, but I still think they don't have enough. And yeah, I just think Graham Potter will unfortunately be sacked at some point in the season. Probably before Christmas, unfortunately, because I do rate him as manager, but it's just not, it wasn't a good fit. I don't know why he went there. It wasn't a good fit. He should have waited. And unfortunately, Wolves, I think, will go down. Wolves, because again, I don't think they've strengthened well. I think it's their time. I think they should have really sold Larson for the money and reinvested that into the squad, because I still feel they haven't really recouped anyone or built well or performed well since Ruben Neves and, since they left. Because Wolves used to be a very, very tough team. I think they broke into the top 8, I want to say, a couple of years ago. I think we lost there in a pivotal title race, top 4 race a couple of years ago. There was a tough ground to go to and a tough team to face, you know. But now I look at Wolves like a very easy game, and I look at them as one of the bottom tier teams in the league. So I think they're going to go down this year, unfortunately. Okay, so I've added a player of the season and young player of the season purely because just to kind of like have a stance on who I believe is going to be the best player in the league. It's obvious. I think Mo Salah again is just going to take over. I think he's going to be the best player in the league. He was the best player by far last year. No one caught him. I think with the introduction of Alexander Isak, Ekatike, Wirtz, you've just given more help. I think he might break the assist record this year. It was crazy that he didn't break it last year, to be honest. It was so close. He's going to break it before he leaves the Premier League. I think it's inevitable, especially now he's got a competent striker there. That's actually going to finish all the chances he's got. If not, he's got another striker on the bench that's going to come off and score all the goals he needs. I think Salah's going to, again, there's not going to be a big fall off that people expect. I know he's not been amazing at the start of the season, but if you look at his GA, it's already something decent to say that he's not been great, which that shows signs of a great player, that you're able to get the assist and goals and assists when you're not playing well. So you just needed to, maybe AFCON affects him, maybe AFCON does affect him, but we'll see. And I think Ethan Nwaneri, I really think this is the season that he breaks through into the Arsenal team. I do think that he will push Odegaard very hard for that position. I know we got the Eze, but I think Eze will be focused more on the left wing position due to there not being great quality on that side. I just think, Ethan Nwaneri, I think this is the season. I've seen enough in pre-season where I thought he's grown now, he's grown into his body a bit. I think more of understanding the press and the way Arteta wants him to play. Who knows how Arteta wants him to play, but that will be key for him to really integrate into the squad. So I do think he'll be the best young player of the season, hopefully. Hopefully pushes us on to the title.